Oh, there's 5 people here now.
Yeah, that's awesome. So let's go ahead and start the music and oh, Bay. Welcome.
Thank you.
Awesome. Great. Yeah. We're going to have some music pleasure while everybody comes.
Hello.
I wanna see the world united and learn to live as one. I wanna see the world united, learn to live as one. I wanna see the world united, learn to live as one. I wanna see the world united, learn to live as one. Zala ke yando stengeli na bato bakufela bitumba. Zongisa ke yando na mituna ya bato bakufela nanzala. Zala ke yando koki na bato bakufela bitumba. Zongisa ke yando stengeli na bato bakufela nanzala. We have to bring the world together and learn to live as one. We have to bring the world together, learn to live as one. El instante lo que cuenta. Vive sonriendo hasta el final. Pero vendrán días de alegría que nadie puede creer. We have to bring the world together and learn to live as one. We have to bring the world together, learn to live as one.
זה הזמן להגיד, אנחנו לב אחד. השיר הזה הוא של כולנו, נשיר אותו בקול אחד.
We have to live as one. We have to bring the world together. We shall overcome.
سيد السلام عيد لنا السلام.
We have to bring the world together. We have to live as one. We have to bring the world together. We shall overcome.
سيد
We have to bring the world together. We have to live as one. We have to bring the world together. We shall overcome. We have to live as one.
Oh my goodness. I'm so happy to see everyone here tonight. And we still hopefully have another team member coming shortly, but welcome. And I do have a message in the chat so that if people can rename themselves, it will help us when we actually get to the case clinic. And if there's anyone that needs help doing that, we can give some instructions.
So what do you mean by that? That we should name ourselves as a role, as a role we're playing?
Yes. Do you see how mine says facilitator dash Laura?
Okay.
Deborah says Zoom dash Deborah. And if you look in the chat, I've given you the title that you can change your name tag to.
Laura, because I think we logged after you put that in the chat. It's not available
Okay.
to us.
Oh, that'll help. Here we go. Thank you. There you go. Is that your timekeeper, David?
Yes.
Great, thank you. Great. Does anyone need help doing that? Okay.
I have a really long name.
Yeah. Do you want to just change it to Day? Use Day, so it doesn't confuse.
Tatiana's Day.
Well, we have two Tatianas with us tonight, so we have Tati. And then,
Tati. Okay, perfect.
and then the other Tatiana is
Okay.
Goes by Day.
Next Sunday.
So yeah, just wanted, I went ahead and wanted to take care of those logistics, hoping that Diego would be here by now, but we will go ahead and proceed. So I just want to take a moment to welcome everyone again to this case clinic, and just take a moment to really see who's here and connect with one or two people on the screen. And in a moment, I am going to have Bay step in and do a grounding for us to before we get started. And so I think, Bay, we're ready to go ahead and do that, if you will. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. I'm excited to share this meditation. It's something that recently was born of the idea that not everybody's physical body is the same. So wherever we find ourselves in our physical bodies, we share the breath. Like pure energy, it's resonant with the atmosphere. We share a heartbeat, and like blood, it's resonant with the earth. As we center ourselves around these things, relax the eyes, quiet the mind, find your breath, and tune into your heart rhythm. Focus on what you feel is the center of your body. And with a deep inhale, breathe from that center, and then drop a cord into the depths of the earth and anchor it there. With your mind's eye, take the other end of that cord and toss it as high into the universe as you can imagine, and know that someone or something will catch it. Now bring it taut. Slowly begin to release your physical structure as you find a pivot point. Once you find that place of comfort, allow yourself to let go, as if you're being held, spinning somewhere in the middle. Perhaps you can let all the tension and stress in your muscles release as you spin in this moment of surrender. Breathe in once again and explore a moment of weightlessness. Notice the senses, the breath, the heart rhythm, and gently extend your ethereal body through your spine and connect with the cord. Become one with the cord. Stretch down to pull yourself vertical, upright, while also maintaining the connection above and beneath you. Gently, we will begin to release the cord. Take one deep inhale, pulling the cord from the earth, and exhale, releasing the cord from the universe. And once again, find your center. And as we return to our physical body, gently open your eyes. Notice where you are in the space around you, your neighbors, yourself, your breath, and remember what holds us here together. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Bae. Oh, in order to really, have as much time as we can for the case clinic today, we're going to just go into breakout rooms to do a pair share with just like 2 or 3 people. And so I'll put, when you go into it'll just be for 4 minutes, so really quick. And you'll just go into the room, share your name, where your feet touch the ground, and what brings you here tonight, what inspired you to come or why you're here. And so Deborah will set that up in just a moment.
Okay, I've made one little change,
Yes.
and I hope that's okay.
Oh, it'll be beautiful.
Okay, all righty. So I will open up the rooms now. Enjoy. Welcome.
Yeah, welcome back. Please go ahead and type in the chat like 1 to 3 words that kind of capture your experience in the chat. Welcome back. We're typing 1 to 3 words in the chat to describe the experience that you just had with your pair share. Welcome back. We are typing into the chat 1 to 3 words that capture the essence of what you just experienced in your pair share. Peaceful, warm, ease. Met Tatiana for the first time. We have met in a previous life before. Excited, connected, warm, sense of belonging, gift. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, it's time to play. So most of us on the call are experienced with case giving. So I'm not going to go into a lot of description. Van is going, and this all makes sense as we proceed. Van is going to be our case giver today. I am going to be facilitating the process. I'm going to be asking David to set the timer so that he'll be the timekeeper. And then I really think that's all you need to know. The coaches are going to be the ones who will be responding to, well, let me just back up a minute. So Van is going to present her case for about 12 minutes. And then we'll have an additional 3 minutes for the coaches to ask her any clarifying questions about what she's shared so that you understand better. And then we will go into 3 minutes of silence where the coaches, and even while the coaches are listening to her case, here's a prompt from so coaches, listen deeply. Do not try to fix the problem, but listen deeply to the case giver while also attending to the images, metaphors, feelings, and gestures that the story evokes for you. And so with that, David, will you set a timer for 12 minutes? And when that timer rings, set a timer. You're on mute. David, you're on mute.
Sorry about that. It doesn't ring, but I'll clap.
Okay, that sounds good. And when David claps, then David set the timer for another 3 minutes. And during that time, we'll be asking the clarifying questions. So any questions before we get started, or is everybody ready? All right, thumbs up, everybody. Yeah, okay. All right, Van.
Hi, everyone. Okay, so I'm going to launch straight into it. I am nervous, and this is related to the case that I want to share with you today. Wow, I'm very nervous. I have been trying for the last few years to establish a business. Initially, it was for my psychology work as a counselor. And for the last couple of years as a Qigong teacher. But every time I have lots of ideas, I initiate Protoype in ULab's language. I prototype a lot. And I know I have the skills, I know I have the knowledge, and every year that passes, I gain more experience. And yet there is still something that prevents me from taking that extra step to really get myself out there, to actually start inviting, making offers and getting customers or clients. And I'm aware of a very strong need for privacy. And so for most of my life, I've been really keeping under the radar, if you like, or just very close to myself. I'm not very extroverted. In a crowd, I tend to just be the one who's just there. I don't talk a lot. And so the last 10 years, I've really worked on communicating, connecting, and yet when it comes, and when I beta test, when I create little experiments and invite people in, there's always been a very positive response, not only to the work, but also to me. And I get encouragement to do just a little bit more. But I'm still at that point where, and I'm with this new experiment that I'm doing, I'm again reaching that point where I tend to, the pattern has been, I get to that point and then I retreat, I pull back, I hide away again, I sort of disappear from view. And so if I'm thinking of the people around me who've experienced my work and who know that I'm trying to establish a business, they would be saying that it's me that's holding myself back. There's no reason why I can't be successful. And every time I start doing something, they're always encouraging. They're and very supportive, and initially that excitement actually made me retreat even faster, but I'm getting to the point now where I'm starting to take it in as encouragement, as motivation to keep going. But yeah, there's the people closest to me know that when I reach this point and I go back, they don't say anything anymore because the pressure that when they try and encourage me to keep going, they see it isn't helpful, and so they don't anymore. And so I feel that there is something I need to let go of, and I'm not sure that it is privacy that I need to let go of. So having this group input will, I am hoping, will help me put a label to it and help me see how it all fits into the bigger picture and what it is that's holding me back. What I am learning and what I need to learn. Well, what I'm learning is to be more present to my experience and to be more in touch with, what is it? Sometimes it's anxiety, sometimes it's just tiredness. It's kind of like I've worked so hard to get to this point. I can't continue anymore. I need to go rest. So sometimes it's that cycle. And maybe that's another thing I need to let go of, the stories around that. But what do I need to learn more? I think I need to learn that it's okay to keep trying. That even if I don't get the results I'm aiming for, the fact that I'm trying again is enough. Yeah. Sorry, is there anything else I need to add? Oh, my intention, what's the future I want to create? Okay. Well, I want to create a business where I am helping people. I am how do I want to word it? I want to create a future where I am doing the work I'm doing, helping people connect to themselves in a felt sense of knowing who they are and to trust and have confidence in themselves. And I can do that through my Qigong and psychology together. That is the vision, where I don't have to do just working on the body or working on the mind, that it can all be one thing. Yeah, I think that sums it up.
Beautiful. Thank you, Van. So we'll go ahead and give time if the coaches have any clarifying questions about what Van has shared.
We are on minute 10.
Okay, just go ahead and turn the timer off, David. We're good for now. Thank you.
Go?
Yes.
Yeah. Van, when you say the word business, what comes to your mind? What means this word? What is a business?
Yeah. A business is something that exists to make money, to provide a service in return for that.
And what is the size of it when you think in a business?
Well, good question. I want the business to be small enough to be manageable, but at the same time, I want it to be big enough to help as many people as I can.
I ask, interestingly, also wanted to ask about that word, the business. When you say business, what do you feel?
Ah, okay. Yeah, that's a good one too. I feel a pushing away. I don't want to go there. I feel that it's not my thing. It's it feels really rigid and clunky and not living, organic, breathing. Yeah, good question. Thank you.
That's my question. Thank you.
So, who was going next? Whoever was, that's fine. Somebody said, may I? No? Okay, I can ask. So, Van, thank you. Actually, that was one of the words that, came up in my consciousness too. And the other two words that came up in my consciousness as you were speaking were work and try. So I was wondering about, what those two words mean.
Okay. So work and try are connected. They are they take energy and effort. It's not fun. It's like pushing uphill. It's like something I have to do. And I have to because there are obligations, there are responsibilities, accountabilities. I'm feeling a weight. And that's preventing me from moving. It's slowing me down and weighing me down. And wow, okay. So work and try are, wow, interesting. Thank you indeed. Good question too. Definitely that feeling does not belong in the vision of the future that I have. That feeling isn't there. So thank you.
So I'm wondering about if you're able to own your gifts. The presence that you've shared with us, it's obvious that your study and the things that are meaningful to you come from deep within. And seeing them as valuable in this world can be difficult. And how do you put a monetary value on something that was given to you and maybe not even necessarily something you asked for? So I'm wondering if the work and the try can come out and if you can recognize the value of your gifts. Sorry, I feel like I'm trying to solve the problem. I didn't mean to do that. That's not what I'm doing.
Thank you. Oh, go ahead.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you asked that question because the company that I formed is called Value Today. And it is partly set up to remind myself of the value that I have and the value that I can give. But to put it in that way, can I value my own gifts? I've never really thought about that before. And it's well, that's not true either. I think I've been encouraged to think about it before. And it's always been difficult. Having met Laura and another friend, and we've been working together for about a year now on various things, it's becoming easier to see my value because they're giving me that feedback all the time, and not in a way that is trying to force it on me. It's just purely reflecting the value that I'm giving to them. And practicing also valuing the gifts that other people are giving me has helped a lot. So yeah, I think your question has highlighted to me that there is still a lot to learn in that area where I could value myself more, value what I do more. And you're right, it can feel that it's very hard to put a monetary value on it. But I think I get the sense that if I value myself more, then it doesn't matter what monetary value I put on it, because it becomes irrelevant. Thank you. Thanks for that question.
Beautiful. Okay, so now we'll go into 3 minutes of stillness. And when we're in the stillness, the coaches and everyone, I invite us all to do this. Again, check back in, really listen to your heart, connect with your heart, connect your heart to what you've heard, and listen to what resonates, what images, metaphors, feelings, and gestures come up for you that capture the essence of what you heard. And then after the 3 minutes, we'll come back and have time for sharing those images and gestures and all of that. So, David, will you set a timer for 3 minutes for us? Thank you.
Sure. It started.
Thank you. everyone kind of finish up where you are. And in a moment, each coach will take about 2 minutes to share what came up for them. And so then after about 8 minutes, Van will have a time to reflect on what the coaches have shared with her. And then we'll go into a 20-minute period where the coaches and Van will have time for generative dialogue. And I'll give some more guidelines around that when we get there. And I need to take a moment, Yelena, at the end, I'm gonna ask if you'd be willing to do 2 gestures for us, and I'll let you know. And if you would do a gesture related to like sculpture 1 that from Van's share, and then at the end a sculpture 2, whatever you want to share. Okay, and I'll let you know when we'll share that. I just wanted you to give some idea to be thinking about that. Okay, so we'll have about 8 minutes, and David, if you go ahead and set the timer so that you can keep us on track if we're going over. But coaches, you have about 2 minutes to share what came up with you.
It's running.
Okay, great.
Can I start? I have some difficulties with my English. I ask sorry, but well, go. The images that comes to me is Van and the sun upon you shining beautifully, and you are feeling the sun and absorbing the light and shining. Your body is shining. You are on the city in a place that's not important in this moment, but you are feeling this, and you take the light around you in your body like a seed light, a light seed, and put it on the soil, and you are feeling joy. You are feeling many emotions, good emotions, and you put this light seed on the soil and come back to see what will go, what will happen. And you see the light, the light seed burning, and you put another and another and another, and you receive the feedback light from these seeds, and you walk a little more, and you see a build and a business build, and you stopped and walk back, avoiding it, because the patterns of a business building gives you bad sensations, and it's not what it doesn't represent the imagine of the light that you that you are carrying with you. And you stop and look at it, and look at the lights you are planting, and feel joy in it, and feel discomfort to see the build. Is it?
Next.
Yesterday I took a pill, and you know how the pill is supposed to go like this way, and it went sideways and it was stuck here. And that's how I felt. I felt like something is stuck here in your throat. And that word was business. Again, it's because I feel like there's a flow in you. There's this elegant, there's this clarity, there's this light, but then there's this resistance when you imagine what business is. So maybe, yeah, maybe question or change the vision of business or the word. That's what came to me.
Next.
I love this image of you and surrounded by seeds of light. I think that is probably a really, I'm making an assumption here, but a comfortable place for you to identify with. And like Di was saying, the pill gets stuck somehow. I heard you talk about it's me. My friends, my peers, the feedback is it's me getting in my own way. And I think there's a piece of forgiveness that could happen around that. Let that go. You don't have to disappear from view. Those were also some of your words.
Okay. Right now, there'll be time for the generative sharing that you're doing. So right now, if you can think back to the stillness or what she shared, and were there any emotions that were there for you? Any images that came up or gestures? Like for Day, it was that a pill gets stuck in the throat. So right now it's more of a mirroring of images, emotions, and if there's not, you know.
Next.
David, I'll that's okay. We have plenty of time, so thank you. I want to give Bay another moment to see if something comes up.
Yeah, no, I think I'm thrown a little off track, so I think I'm gonna pass. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, so two images came up for me. One while you were speaking, Van, and then right in the beginning while you were speaking, and then another one later, much later when everyone else had, when I went into the stillness. So the first image that came up was of this wizard, and tall, gangly, got it's blue robes, blue hat, probably like Merlin with stars and moons and gold all over it, and the guy is just blowing bubbles, and he's blowing bubbles, and he's blowing bubbles, and they're all sizes, they're little, they're big, and there's this huge one, and but there's rounds and rounds of them, and some are going poof, and the others are going big, and it's all multicolored and everything. Okay, so that was the first image that came while you were speaking. And once I went into the stillness, oh, and by the way, it's like kind of dusk, but early dusk, so the sky is turning deeper, but there's this bright, that sunset kind of colors are there. Okay. Then when I went into the quiet place, into the stillness, the picture that arose was by the beach. There's people. It's again, but now it's late dusk. It's twilight. It's days finishing, and it's just becoming night. and people are sitting there, they're completely relaxed. The scent of flowers is there, probably like jasmine or whatever, and you can, it's just very deeply peaceful, and you can hear the ocean, go out and come in and go out. And it's very deeply present. So those were the two images that came up for me.
Thank you. And I just want to go back to Bay and see if anything, if you have anything to share now. And it's fine if you don't. Anything surfaced. You are, yeah, there you go.
There's this resonant softness about Ivan. My experience is this softness, this gentleness, this kindness, this ever giving. It's almost like this expansive ocean that has no real boundaries on what you have or what there is to offer. And each drop of water is important, has meaning, and I think that I think I'm going to stop there.
Beautiful. And it might just segue into the next part, which is the generative. Van will reflect on what she's heard so far, and then we'll go into once she's complete. David, if you'll set the timer for about 16 minutes, that would be great. So Van, why don't you reflect on what your coaches have shared?
I want to say thank you. The images have been beautiful and so accurate. It does feel like I'm planting seeds, and yes, seeds of light, seeds of peace. And yes, there is something stuck in my throat. It's like I'm trying to get it unstuck. And it's funny how there's two images of ocean. One is the sense of the peace and the very much presence, because being near the ocean, there's so much sensorial stimulation. There's so much there that it really does bring you to the present. And then the metaphorical ocean, where each drop it just ties into previous conversations about drops and oceans really beautifully. And each drop is like the seeds, and each one has value, each one has potential, each one is useful in itself. And even if it doesn't grow, it's enough. That's what I'm getting out of this. And I'm getting the sense that I don't have to stop because I've got something stuck in my throat. I can still do other things. And it's an irritation. It's not a showstopper. It doesn't have to prevent me from continuing to plant seeds, even though that irritation is there. And it doesn't need to be, it doesn't need to, it can be there, and I can still experience and enjoy the feelings of being at peace and at the beach, and the fun of casting bubbles. I don't know how the wizard fits in, but that image of just throwing bubbles everywhere, that was so fun. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. Okay, so it's time for the generative dialogue, and here are the prompts for this period of time. Reflect together. This is the coaches and the case giver, Van. Reflect together on the remarks of the case giver and move into a generative dialogue on how these observations can offer new perspectives on the case. Go with the flow of the dialogue, build on each other's ideas, stay in service of the case giver without pressure to fix or resolve their challenge. And so I'm having David set it for about 16 minutes. And then when that happens, you'll still have a couple minutes to finish up. So
another 16 minutes?
If you go ahead and start it now, yeah, that would be great.
Okay.
Thanks.
I can start if there's no other volunteers. I feel there's like so much flow, and that's that pill that is stuck. It might be like really so small, like a pill, and it might be really the reaction to the mental construct of, or the image that you build of, again, a business or that step. That is the thing. And one thing that worked, that I've been working with and experimenting with, and worked for me once very well, and maybe I'm just throwing up the image out there, instead of see what is that image that I'm resisting to, and the work that I need to do. Like you said, there's work, there's effort, see it as it's not thing that I have to offer. It's not gifts that I have to offer, but what worked for me is to see me as a channel, and the work is I'm just channeling it. And the time that I believe I was the most productive, or my gift was the most worthy in my life, is when I didn't think it's coming from me. I just surrendered and I said, you know what, things came to me and things are coming out of me. And I just prayed. I really prayed, and I said, let the best come out. Let me be this tube, let me be as wide as can be, and let things flow. And I think if you've, maybe that word, instead of business, let it be channel. Maybe even change the word. Maybe don't use business. I don't know. We don't need to use the word business if it's so annoying. It's just my, yeah. And another thing is monetary. Use the word monetary, and you almost like choked saying it. Another thing that worked for me, or again, I'm testing with it, is to see everything that comes back to me as a thank you note. Again, playing with the images. Like every time somebody sends me $1, they're telling me thank you. I'm like, oh, thank you, because I have a thing against money, but it's again playing on your psyche. I hope that helps.
So then to build on, what I said, one of the thoughts that comes in when you're speaking about things like, thank you notes, etc. So I'm wondering if, and even this might be too business, but what if it was just like, I'm doing this anyway. Whoever wants it, come, there is no cost. And, whatever you want to donate at the end, do, and it will be received with gratitude, and even, and maybe not even that. I don't know. anyway, that's one. And another word that came in also is striking a chord for me is I have to learn stuff. And the sense I get is no, you don't. You don't have to learn anything. It's all fully there. But anyway, I don't know how that fits in. I don't know if this is kosher for the case mechanism, but hey.
Well, I was listening you and I was thinking about, I don't know how I say in English, but in Portuguese is arquétipos. Arquétipos. Business.
Archetypes.
Yeah.
Archetypes.
Thank you. Thank you. In business, a great build is one archetypo. I still talk in Portuguese, sorry. And money is other. And when we think in these two archetypos, I saw you and I feel that you have these two archetypos in a way that doesn't combines with your values with your essence. Maybe the pattern of business is only a pattern. It doesn't have a content. The content you will put inside of it. And like any other people, any other person, the content will grow with you, with the seeds that you are planting. And maybe you will have a big build or not. I don't know. We don't know. But the pattern of build you will decide, you will create. And the money and the build archetypes are the materialization of energy of what we are doing here in this world, in this life. And it's not the problem. Maybe the archetype is inside your truth because you are thinking about the archetype and what it brings to you, the bad sensations. But it's not important. Important is your content, is your light, is your seeds, is what you are doing. And maybe you will create your pattern of business, of money, and of work.
I guess my attempts to experiment with different things, making different offers, has in a way been an attempt to create a different type of business, a sort of a different energy when interacting with people. And it's see, this money thing, it's necessary, and it's I guess the standard exchange of energy. And what I'm hearing from this conversation is that if I look past the form of it, if I just see the energetic exchange of it, how it flows out of me and it flows back to me, and just allow that flow rather than in my stereotype of a business, like I want to take, or because I've tried the donation thing as well, And it always surprises me what people give. And it's also surprising that sometimes people don't know what to give. And so I'm not the only person with that kind of stuckness when it comes to money and flow. But what's coming to mind is, instead of building up a business, I need to deconstruct one. So my mental image of a business, I need to take it apart and just do the bits that are okay to do and leave aside the bits that are not okay. You know, the corporate politics, the just, well, all the stuff that I've experienced in the corporate world. Yes, so deconstruct the and rather than seeing one big building that's there as a business with a label and a, you know, like a sign, it helps to think of it as something that is more organic and will grow, and it's a seed right now, and I don't have to be afraid of the seed, because what I'm doing is nurturing it and by me playing around with the conditions around this seed, how it grows will change. And just like a gardener, you know, if something gets too big, I can trim it. If it's not growing fast enough, I can fertilize it. So there are certain degrees of control, but at the same time, there's that sort of allowing to happen as well. And it's just so peaceful in this group. It's so beautiful. I'm just, there's just in this group, there's a real grounding, a real sense of stillness that allows the potential to arise. So nice. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for giving me the experience that I see in the vision of the work that I'm doing. Thank you.
I would really like to offer, Van, that you are, you set the stage. It was your tone that that brought about this stillness and this peace and this willingness to just have this immense presence. You bring that, and so it's easy to follow you there and to watch and witness what just happened for you, and in that bit of stillness was really, I mean, it speaks to your gifts and the things that I'm sure when you are working with other people, they are experiencing as well. So thank you.
Yeah. You know, Van, this picture that Di built up about the channel is just reinforcing for me right now. Because building on what Pei said, you did, uh, um, you created the peace and stillness by how you spoke, how you presented your case, created that stillness, and we all followed, you know, and that allowed that to be there. And then there's this other part of our personality structure, which are trying to figure it out. And what Jai has mentioned is that when she went ahead and said, all right, the structure's there, it's always going to mess with me. And me is this larger channel through which stuff is happening. And it's worked for her, you know? So, yeah. So that's the thought that came out. And in my case also, I decided, you know, I wanted to have a coach. I wanted to, yeah, I think initially I wanted to create a coaching business probably, right? Or I wanted to create a living out of coaching. And the way I was built, you know, I'd procrastinated and I knew it was going to die on the vine just like every other thing. So when I went and had a coffee with myself and I decided there's two things, there's coaching and there's money to be made out of coaching. And it was like, no one can ever stop me from being a coach. Money we'll see, you know. And so for 7 years, I continued to do my IT work alongside. And for coaching, first I hired myself two pro bono clients, you know, and then somebody came out from somewhere who wanted to hire me for a paying thing and another. And I would love to just chat with coaches. And slowly through those conversations, one of the coaches said, so how do you develop business? I said, I'm very bad at business development. She said, so how do you get your work? Yeah, I talk to other coaches. I love chatting with other coaches. And sometimes they connect me up to other coaching benches. She said, well, that's your business development process. So I said, yes. So one thing came through which, you know, made it such that I could give up my IT business, making money out of IT and go full time into coaching 7 years later. So just
We're getting the 16-minute time, so a couple more minutes to wrap up this part.
If I may say one thing, because I presented my case this morning and I feel there's a common almost thread, and possibly this is almost a question to reflect on. We know, or we feel we want to operate with the system that there's something wrong with it. You know, it's like, but we want our work to be pure. But how can you put the pure in here? So what if we say we reduce our expectations for this operation, just go in and flow? And one priest, Jesuit priest, told me that they used to, they have this vow of obedience. So basically they don't choose where they're working. They are told where to go and work, and they take whatever is their assignment as their God-given duty. And that made me think, oh, so I can be anywhere. And this is what he said, you can be anywhere. If you're in a company that is mining, it's because you are raising the consciousness of those people mining, so that maybe in 10 years they stop. Don't think that today you're going to be in a perfect place. Maybe today you just want to be flowing. You know, give, just like Mandeep is saying, just like give. Do it your way. I don't know what your way is, you know? And then when the need emerges for the person who's more business minded, they will come up, but maybe flow, you know? something that, you know. I'm very curious about the other people who are not speaking because this is a new format to me. So maybe you tell me later.
Yeah, thank you. So I think it's time for closing remarks. So for the closing remarks, you know, it's like about 8 minutes here, but so the coaches can share a kind of closing remark, and then the case giver, how do I now see my situation and way forward, and to share any acknowledgements of appreciation for your coaching session.
Can I go? Stillness, how could it bring us this experience of ourselves? Because when we are in silence, in normal experience, the silence is a not good experience because it put us in contact with nothing or with all. And here the silence gives us the opportunity to find what we are looking for. And when we are in silence, our brain, our thoughts doesn't exist and does take the power. And it's a real opportunity to feel, not to think, not to feel afraid of about the things, the future, the problems. And the silence was a great opportunity, a great experience of this coaching cycle today. Thank you.
And Yelena, during this time, when you feel it's appropriate, if you could do the gestures, that would be awesome. Thank you. Are there any other closing statements?
I just wanted to express how deeply touched I am, how sacred this circle was. And Dan, I want to thank you so much for creating an hour and a half of just sacredness. Thank you.
Laura, could you read my message?
Sure, thank you. On the chat?
Chat.
As a gesture, as a gift. I think one of the, and it came early on, Laura. So it was really interesting. The first gesture that I had, it's like something like this. It's a really, you know, tight, and it's right in the head. It's like this. And then there is a drop. There is a drop like a water, like a drop that is dropping and landing in the heart. And that is the travel. It's from here to just as a drop right here. And that, I think, feels like and what comes to me as words: go slow to grow, go slow to flow. And it really goes slow to grow, go slow to flow. And that will open that channel. And it can come back right here. So that's like that exchange, right? It's really fluid. Yeah. Yeah. That's an offering.
It's can I speak?
Oh, yes.
It's Jelena, there's a movement in Qigong where I'm sorry, I'm wired. I can't move too far back, but the right hand is above the belly and the left hand is above the heart, and then we just cycle up and down between the heart and the belly. And now you're giving me this upper cycle. And so eventually it will all be just one big cycle. Wow, thank you. Thank you. Because the down is just as important as the up. Yeah, thank you.
May I share one more thing? Sometimes, and it's related to also what Jelena is saying, like there's a lot of, when we think about our work, it's very mental, but there's something so beautiful about your presence. Like I want to go and just be in your presence, and I feel, oh, good. So maybe we think our gifts should come from here, but maybe it's really offering your presence. And I thank you for offering your presence to us today, because it's so nice. I feel like I want to hug you. It's so cuddly. So thank you. And it's so nice to see someone like you with this, like, you know, steadiness, because I'm not. I'm like, oh, like a butterfly. And to see someone like so steady, so, and still moving through the transformation and opening up. It's so beautiful. Thank you for the gift of sharing. It's an honor to see you.
Go ahead, Ben. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I understand completely what it's like to have a question of how to share your gifts. I understand that completely. Something you were saying about deconstructing, and I apologize for leaving for a moment, but it made me think of this Osho tarot card, the Thunderbolt.
Well, I'm gonna.
So it's about shaking the tower, breaking it all down and reconstructing it. You have to shake it out, let the stuff fall out before you can rebuild it. So I think that is a beautiful place and would give you so much strength to come from. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. And I am practicing receiving. I'm practicing. And at the same time, I really want to give credit to everybody in this space, because I can't create this on my own and I can't hold it on my own. So thank you for coming and sharing and co-creating with me.
So does that feel complete right now, Van? Did everyone share? Okay. Okay, so I just want to say that David shared something for us in the chat about archetypes. And I'll give you a moment to just see that. And then we'll be going into 2 minutes of silence to journal. And David will let us know when it's time to come out of the 2 minutes. And when you do, and you come back into the chat, we'll just leave, come back to the chat, come back to the room out of the silence. Then just again, share 1 to 3 words of the essence of what your experience has been. And then we'll just say goodnight by unmuting and just saying goodbye. Or if you want to just leave quietly, that's fine, however you choose. And I will have an opportunity, I'll be in touch with all of you to, after this call. But I mean, not tonight, but in the future. So everybody, I just want to take a moment myself to say thank you so much for coming. Thank you to my 2X team for helping me hold this space and giving me the opportunity to do it. And so with that, David, will you set our timer for 2 minutes and they'll let us know.
Running.
All right, thank you.
Time's up.
Thank you. Yes, so if you'll just put in the chat before we say goodnight, just again, 1 to 3 words or so that capture the essence of your time together tonight. Mine are delighted, moved, grateful. I'm sorry, says grateful, feels like I just finished a good meditation. Mandeep, it's moving too fast. I see heart seed equal deep ocean, beautiful. Sacred, grateful, Van and deized, existing with silence, flowing, peace, connection, grateful. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Good night. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you
Night.
all.
Nice to meet y'all.
Lovely
Bye
meeting.
bye. Thank you, David. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Zelena.
Lovely meeting all of you.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Good night. Thank you.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful to you all. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Whose music was it at the beginning? Yours?
No, actually it was Laura's.
Huh. Fantastic music.
Yeah, it was. I'll send you the link.
I got it. I got it. It's
Oh,
playing.
see, you're
It's
good.
playing.
Good to see you.
Bye-bye.